Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lindsay if you're not familiar with me, and we are gonna dive in to the energies for this month of March. I am so excited. This month is going to be just crazy, but in a really positive way. This energy of feeling like nothing's moved, this energy of stuckness, this energy like I'm doing all of the steps and making all of the decisions or taking all of the actions and nothing adding up or nothing budging, nothing moving, is going to have this breakthrough moment and this breakthrough point. So there's a lot of breakthroughs that are coming to us in March as a whole. This month overall is all about expansion and allowing ourselves permission to expand. There's going to be change that enters into our world and into our life. And a lot of the time we want change, but when it shows up, we can tend to react differently, or it doesn't show up quite like we thought it would. Or we forget that in the midst of change and when things are changing, that it requires us to really stay grounded and level and to manage our energies really well and to take care of ourselves and stay centered really well. Otherwise, that change we've needed, that change we've asked for, kind of shakes us up a little bit, and it can be something that we now have anxiety over or stress over, and everything's happening all at once, and I have to get this done, and I have to make sure and do this, and I have to still close this off. So there's some shifting energies for sure coming in this month. And starting off with the beginning portion of this month, this is your time to prepare so that when that change shows up, so when those changes start to come through, and they will be quick, the momentum is going to be building really fast as we move into the end of March, as we move into April. So this is your time to prepare, to shut and close those doors, to make a choice, make a decision, to prepare your spaces for what you've asked for, to prepare yourself for what you've asked for. A lot of the times we say, I want this, I want this, I want this. I've been wanting this for so long. I've been trying to manifest this for forever. I need change, I need change, I need change. But again, when it shows up and things begin to move really quickly for us, we're like, wait a minute. Like, hold up, maybe I need a little more time. And the energy here says, nope, you're ready. We gotta go. We can't spend any more time in this old space. You gotta go. So when that energy starts to pull through later in the month and into especially April, May, June, July, beginning of August, huge months, huge times where we will see an increase in the portals that we have working with us. And we do have, let's see, we have a lot of portals this month. The majority of the month is a portal in itself. And we are in the midst of a portal in the beginning of this month. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. Huge day on the 5th. We have an energy gateway opening up on the 5th of March that is going to be working with us until March of 2023. And this energy is huge, expansive, okay? And I dove deeper into those portals and into that gateway specifically, as well as how to work with that energy over on Patreon. If you're personally interested in how this energy is going to be affecting you and what areas of your life it's going to be channeling into and helping you out, because again, this energy is all lovingly helping us out to move forward to our highest potential, you can book a March personalized energy forecast. And in that, you can either select a written reading or a voice recorded reading that's sent to you within 48 hours of the time you schedule it. And it'll go over this energetic month ahead personally for you. But this first phase of the month, this first portal series we have, and kind of bleeding into the middle of the month, this is really about making a decision and making a choice. What are we done with? What are we through with? There can be a lot of review coming up. The mental space can be very active during this time as there's a new perspective, new awareness, kind of like these aha moments coming through. You could find that you're drained at the same time as you have a lot of mental energy. Your head could be really awake. Meanwhile, your body might be moving through a clearing and releasing process. We can have a lot of GI symptoms coming up, nausea. This month is big on ascension. This is the peak of ascension. And when we're talking about ascension, we're talking about evolution. A lot of people think this ascension process is, okay, I am awake and that's it. It's done. I can check it off my list. But we're going to continue to upgrade. And what we've been moving through is a lot of clearing, a lot of releasing, a lot of mental aspects of the ascension process. This deep space of contemplation, clearer understandings, and now we go further into it. And at the collective level, what may be spirituality for you and how you've known it may actually be leaving you during the first phase of this month as you reach a greater clarity around what's true and right for you versus what's an illusion that you've picked up, learned, and adapted to that you've been operating under. So if you've felt disconnected or disinterested from the way in which you have been connecting to your spirituality and things don't resonate anymore, or something feels off about these spiritual people you used to follow on Instagram, or you don't feel as connected to all of the things anymore when it comes to spirituality, you're going through a process of spiritual maturity in which you're developing your own connection to that energy in the way that's right and unique for you, and leaving behind the illusions. So the illusions around spirituality itself can be surfacing for many people as that brings us into a greater depth of change of what's really going on, what's really ascension, what's really this anchored essence of spirituality, and no more of this spiritual bypassing of, hey, I'm just gonna go up here and I'm gonna pray to my guides and meditate and do these things. And those things are great, right? They get us so far. They can manage us in a moment. But we're a society based on extremes. And when we go too far this way, we forget the other stuff. So now we got to bring the pendulum back into the center and learn to oscillate, learn to balance, learn to hang out in the center of two worlds, and finding this balance not only between the feminine and the masculine, but the higher realms and this earthly space. So there's a balance and equilibrium that's kind of reaching this space where it could feel like in the beginning of this month, you're reconnecting with old parts of yourself or reflecting on old parts of your journey, where you feel resonance again to certain parts of you from different timelines. And when we're talking about timelines, we're talking about past versions of yourself in this lifetime and in past lifetimes. So I have lived probably 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different timelines in this one life. And those could be seen as the different versions or phases of ourselves in life and in this current life. And you could be syncing up picking up different resonances over the beginning of this month from those past and previous selves that were true and authentic to you. Because many times when we go through the ascension process, we strip everything away. And oftentimes when we get into a space of spirituality, things become very rigid and we say, oh, I can't be this anymore, or I can't do that anymore, or this isn't high vibe and I have to cut that off, and this isn't really who I am. And we connect with just the soul spirit of our being, and we leave all the human essences of our truth kind of at the wayside. So we're kind of going back over things and saying, wait a minute, this is really me. Wait a minute, this part of me in that phase of my life, in that timeline, that is my part of my truth. I gotta take that with me. So we could be reconnecting and reconvening with these pieces and parts of ourselves in the beginning of the month through this review process and through taking a higher perspective, seeing it in a different light. Ultimately, what that's going to be leading up to is decisions around where we go next, decisions around, am I going to settle for this, or is there more for me? And kind of leaning into this blind faith that is the essence of spirit navigating the human form, in the sense of maybe it doesn't make sense, but maybe it feels right, and trusting that feeling and saying, okay, I don't really know what's coming next. I don't really know how to get there. And the how is going to be blurry. The how, we may have no idea, but we can have this feeling like, I need to say no to this, and I need to cut this off, and I'm done being treated this way, and I'm done settling for this. And there's a level of the divine masculine energies within us and in our world that are exhausted and tired and are kind of saying, I don't have to prove myself and prove my worth by working endlessly. This is old paradigm. I have to take a break. I can give myself permission to take a break, and I don't have to work this way. I don't have to operate this way anymore. I know that maybe I need to finalize some things in this space, but I know that I'm moving on. I know that it's time for me to move forward. I know that it's time for me to expand. So there can be a space and resonance of, my cat is sitting underneath me, a space and resonance of closure during the beginning of this month. This space of reaching peace and having grace for our experience in the past. And this could be helping us move forward in new directions without clearly knowing all of the answers quite yet. And in the beginning of this month, it's a finalization of kind of making that decision if you haven't already. And if anything's been left in limbo, or if you've been leaving things kind of unfinished, they will come up for you to complete them. This is especially around work and relationships, home and family dynamics. There's something that needs to be completed, needs to be finalized. And there's something that we've been moving through since around these energies and themes. This could even be like your relationship to money, your relationship to yourself, self-worth, again, career, job, purpose, home, family, relationships, dynamics of all kinds that has been working with us and under review since the end of December. And we've been moving through significant changes from about Christmas time, like the 23rd, 24th, and because we had some portals then as well, and moving into this new year. And now that energy is becoming clear to us. So we're going to be seeing more clearly what we've been moving through, what has been clearing, what we've been finalizing, what lessons we've been finalizing, what lessons we've been learning in order to graduate. And so there's this culmination point of, wow, oh, I can see this in a clearer view now. Oh, wow, I can see this from a better vantage point now that I'm not so in it. Whereas before we were kind of just moving through and things were coming up, and this pressure could have been there, and this contraction could have been there. And it could have been like we're bringing things in and we're like, wait, why is this coming through? This isn't what I wanted. Haven't I done enough work? Or why is this happening? This makes no sense. This doesn't add up to what I've been working on or what I've been calling in with myself. This is like an old version of what I used to settle for. And now those lights are getting turned on where we're going, oh, okay, I see that this was something moving out, that I had this higher awareness in that process, but I've allowed it to play out to finalize these cycles, and now we're understanding them. We're understanding how we've learned to operate on those preconceived conditions and karmic patterns and cycles. So from end of December up until the beginning of March, we moved through this space, and now into March 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, there's this review where the mind can be really active of like, oh, everything's coming together, everything's clicking into place. Even beyond the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, that energy is even further going to be giving us this awareness of, okay, I can say no to this. I am worthy of more. I do deserve more. And instead of allowing and accepting this in my life, I do have to close this door. I have to say no. I have to make a decision. A lot of the times in this space, some of us may have accepted things or entertained them for the pure purpose of having something there, because we've been in this drought almost for over a year now, since April of last year, 2021, where it seems like nothing's really moved forward. So when these things have been coming in, we may have been entertaining them even though we knew they were not right, or we may have been hanging on to what we knew was expired. And now there's a culmination of, oh, I'm saying no to this. I'm lovingly closing this door, closing this cycle, closing this chapter for something new to come in, because I know it's there. Even though I don't know the details, I know, I feel it's there. So you could have this anticipation, almost maybe an anxiety coming through around what's next, where you can be feeling that momentum beginning to build throughout this month. And as we move into the rest of this month, the 5th is a huge date because there's a huge shift in energy. And as we move forward from there, things are going to be speeding up. And there's a lot of downloads that are going to be coming through, a lot of understanding and clarity that we didn't have before around where to go next, around the steps moving forward, around what's needed and right for us, around who we really are, around who's right for us and who's not right for us, and this expansiveness. The expansiveness of our consciousness, the expansiveness of our heart, the expansiveness of our truth, the expansiveness of our expression, really rising to the surface. And truth is being revealed at a deeper level. And there's deep insights, activations, and downloads that are going to be coming through the mind, the mental space, the crown chakra, but especially the third eye. So migraines, vertigo, the tension or feeling like you have like a rubber band around your head, ear ringing, feeling really oversensory in your psychic awareness and senses, where you've ignored your psychic awareness or your own truth and your own intuitive voice. It's like you can no longer ignore it, and it's going to be coming on loud and clear, and that intuitive voice is here navigating you forward. So it might not make sense what you're receiving, and they may be coming through really quickly. So I strongly recommend having something prepared for you to write things down and creating space to receive this information, to receive these downloads. Otherwise, I feel like many of us are going to have insomnia this month, because when you don't create that space to receive, it comes through in the most inconvenient times when we're still and we are not distracted, which oftentimes happens when we are asleep or trying to sleep. So if you are someone, and this could be happening already, you could be feeling and tapping into this energy already in the beginning of the month, but it's going to increase. So if you've already been experiencing insomnia over the past probably week, highly suggest carving out some time in your schedule to give yourself permission to tune in and to connect with your spirit guides, with your spirit squad, with God, with the universe, with your higher essence, with future timelines, with whatever the heck you resonate with, whatever the heck you believe you're tapped into, creating space to commune with that and giving yourself some space to jot these things down. And automatic writing is something that I highly suggest, and many of us are going to be realizing this month that we have. There could be a lot of people opening up their channel this month where it's been suppressed, or opening up to their intuitive essence where maybe they didn't think they were intuitive before. And the solar plexus is going through a shift and change, where we can see a lot of stomach issues, skin clearings, irritations, etc. There can be a lot of breakouts on the forehead or irritation to the forehead with this third eye energy and the solar plexus energy combining. And when we have the solar plexus restoring, rejuvenating, and going through a shift and a change like it is now over this month ahead, with establishing a new sense of self, a new identity, restoring and reactivating your power, your potential, your knowing of your humanness, and also your ego. We can have, the skin tends to react and be super sensitive, itchy, inflamed, and have weird, there could be acne, there could be things like that happening with that energy, because the solar plexus is really connected to the skin. So with that, be aware, take good care of yourself, and lots of water. This could feel like you're moving through activations in the physical body more so because of that solar plexus center being highly impacted and affected. If you are somebody that has been struggling with the Ascension symptoms as of recently, I would make sure to grab the Ascension Protocol ebook. I'll put the link in the description. And in that, I cover the process of energy moving through the body, why we have these symptoms, what makes them occur, and how energy interacts with our physical human self, as well as the building blocks of nutritional essence that you can utilize with food to help your body feel supported and be supported during these times. Because again, we are in a powerful, potent space of ascension, evolution, activation this month of March, April, May, June, July, beginning of August. Big old time. And then we kind of level out. And there's still some activations and things, but this is like the blast off moment where we're entering into a new paradigm. Pets can be affected right now as well. Speaking of my dogs, thank you for tolerating us. The other thing that I want to mention around this month ahead is with this solar plexus energy and the ego. So the ego is not bad, guys. The ego is your human sense of identity. And when that human sense of identity is conditioned, it's rooted in it's like malignant energy that can cause issues within your physical self, mental self, energetic self, etc. But when your ego is coming from this unconditioned, natural, true space, it's the energy that says, this is who I am, this is what I want, and I'm confident in my ability to get it. I'm the creator of my reality. I'm magnetic. And I have a frequency that pulses through me that allows me to have, be, do whatever I want. And that assertiveness in that, and that groundedness of, this is who I am, and this is my birthright, not from a cocky place. And if that energy makes you feel gross, if me saying this to you hits a nerve or triggers you, that's your cue to be working with yourself on your solar plexus. But that energy is what we're restoring. So if you've been feeling kind of like you've been floating around, not really sure of who you are, what you want, not really sure where to go from here, there's been no clarity or answers, and you've been really deep in this void or unknown, that energy is going to be building and coming to you throughout this month into the end of March. Boom. You're going to have so much clarity end of March, middle of March. It's like, okay. And then moving into April, it's like action, action, action. But we are receiving the steps mid-March for how we're meant to move forward. And it's kind of this game of trust. It's kind of like, how much can you lean into what you cannot see and what you do not tangibly, visibly know, and how much can you enjoy the journey of navigating in a new way to expand you. And this process is all about expansion. The other thing that's going to be coming up is how you deal with change, how you deal with changes, and you're gonna be very aware this month of how you deal with and handle change in your life, where maybe you're someone who doesn't handle change very well, and where you've clung too tightly to what was, and where maybe you need to loosen something a little bit, expand something a little bit, where we talked about that tightness and that restrictiveness, where that needs to be opened up a little bit, because there's almost like this energy where if you've been too focused on things happening this way or needing to be this direction, that's been stagnating you. And this month says there's a new way, there's a different way, there's a better way, but you have to loosen your grip in order to see it. You have to loosen that focus in order to see the expansiveness of the options and the pathways and the infinite opportunities that are available to you, so you can have the bigger picture. So we can be zooming out, especially after March 5th, zooming out to see the bigger picture, to see all options, to say, oh, whoa, I didn't even see this before. I didn't even see this building. I felt something, but I didn't even see this option available to me. I've been so focused and so clinging to this thing, this way, this path, this relationship, this ideal of how this needed to go, that I didn't even realize there was an easier route, that there was all of these things building up for me and being gifted to me. So that can be happening as well, and that's really helping us move through this time of change, of transformation. The heart chakra is going to be underway. I would say it's probably more so the high heart, this space between the throat and the heart chakra, and the throat and heart are combined in that energies, and this is all about your power to express who you really are, your uniqueness in the world, and to feel this acceptance and love for yourself and within yourself, but then also through that, finding this acceptance and love for others in the world, no matter how diverse they are, And on a collective level, during the month of March, we can see a lot of people coming together. This reinstilled hope in humanity and this reconnection of humanity coming together for bigger causes, where we're going to be seeing a lot of like humanitarian groups or like freedom fighter groups, or these people that are coming together that may all be really diverse and different, but they're coming together in their uniqueness for a greater cause, for a bigger picture. And we may be connecting with people that we were not necessarily, that we would have never connected with before. And I've talked a little bit about this here and there over on Patreon, but this month it's all about trying something new, trying something different to release the karmic energy, which is the familiar energy, and moving into the dharmic energy, which is all about our purpose and the ascension of moving into a higher light itself, a higher way of life, a higher way of being, a higher way of embodiment. And so there could be new relationships coming through now that karmic conditioning has cleared. As we get into the bulk of March, new relationships, new people, new opportunities, new considerations around job, career, new orientations around home and family that we're going to be seeing, new orientations around government, politics, business are going to be coming to the forefront on a collective level. And we're reevaluating and rediscovering ourselves and what's possible through diversity. And so coming together in diversity in our own unique way and truth, and celebrating that, this energy of the age of Aquarius really hitting its peak this month. So we're really entering into the age of Aquarius really strongly this month ahead. This is it. This is it. We're in it. We've been closing these doors, closing these chapters on the age of Pisces, reviewing it, recollecting the wisdom and information through the lessons that we've learned, and that wraps up the beginning of March. Then we jump into the age of Aquarius, and Aquarius says, look, I'm weird, I'm different, and guess what? I see the whole picture, and I know things ahead of time. I know things before others do. I see the way forward, and I see what needs to change and what steps I need to take now in order to reach that point. So that energy is coming through really strongly with this month ahead. Aquarius is also the energy that says, look, you could be doing this differently and I could be doing this differently, but we can come together to create something larger. And we have to come together to create a shift or a higher means of elevating something as a whole. We work really well and efficiently by ourselves, but what would happen if we took this part and this part and this part and put it together? There would be something that would be expansive, innovative, and extremely ascending about that experience. And there's so much to learn from other people that are different from us, that are not like who we are and have different preferences or different ways of working. And when we put all of that together and we put all of these pieces and puzzle pieces together, there's a bigger, higher viewpoint and purpose that can be achieved. And so overall, this energy of this month holds a lot of that. And there can be this expansiveness of the heart space in that way, where there's forgiveness needed and necessary for others that have done us wrong, for others at the collective level, in the public eye and space, where we could be healing this whole understanding of 3D, 5D, this is wrong, this is low vibe, this is not, again, that old spiritual rhetoric that is connected to the Age of Pisces. And we could be moving forward with that, saying, look, we're all here and we're all have a role to play. And I honor where you're at and you honor where I'm at. And look, we can actually come together, and this is actually how we ascend. This is actually how we do it. And so there's some forgiveness needed in the heart space. And so you could be moving through this energy where you're connecting to a higher and greater love, a higher and greater compassion for humanity, and coming into this wholeness. Astrologically, we are working with Uranus a lot over this year ahead. Uranus is the energy of awakening, and this is also the energy of wholeness, of tuning into the collective energies, and also maintaining our unique, weird, quirky, diverse, assertive sense of self in the mix of that all. It's this great awakener that says, look, I'm gonna go this way and this way and this way and this way, and I'm gonna create change, but I'm connected to the greater level of wholeness and the greater collective energies in my doing. So with that being said, purpose, soul mission, soul contracts, those that are supposed to be helping us elevate, relationships that are helping bring us into that wholeness and greater essence of love, connectivity, humanity, and ascension are going to be coming and entering into our field and into our life. This is about how open-minded can you be? And where there's been rigidity, or where there's been something that's been too narrowed in your spectrum of your viewpoints, in your consciousness, in yourself, in your heart, it's going to be expanded. And so this is really about, again, coming together, unifying, harmony, total Age of Aquarius energies, innovating through that ability. And also soul mission and soul purpose. So if you felt like you have been in limbo around this job needs to change, this career needs to change, I don't know where to go from here, but this needs to change, there can be less of a seriousness around it this month, and more of this ease, more of this fluidity, more of this grace of, I kind of just trust I'll end up wherever I end up. That may not be a very solid, secure plan, but as you receive these downloads and understandings and clarity through that third eye expansion and through this heart, high heart space, there's going to be a light bulb that comes on that goes, oh, this is what I need to do. Oh, this is what I'm here for. Oh, this is the role I play in the bigger scheme of things. Oh, this is what I need to be doing in order to help and serve the planet and collective on this higher level. And I want to stress that that doesn't necessarily mean converting over to the Age of Pisces ideals of what purpose is. That energy of purpose, according to the old Age of Pisces, was the spiritual healer, the tarot reader, the energy worker, the aura reader, the spiritual guide. And yes, some of you have gifts, all of us have gifts in that sense. And this month is helping us recollect and connect to those. But then it's saying, hey, we're not going to do this in an old way that's just rooted in the Piscean nature. We're going to hook it up to Aquarius, where Aquarius is very advanced. And this energy could be really reminiscent of, if you're familiar with this, of Lemuria and Atlantis. And these two energies meeting together, where we're taking kind of this old flowy spiritual rhetoric of the crystals and all of this old stuff, and we're amplifying it into the future space of saying, hey, look, I'm a light worker, but I'm also a doctor, and I'm gonna elevate this space while remaining in that career. And I don't have to separate myself from that space entirely to become an energy healer, but I can work my magic in that space to bring innovation, inspiration, and momentum to the ascension process within this existing structure to elevate it. And hey, I may be working as a manager at a restaurant, but like, I'm a light worker. I have these abilities, I have these skills, I have intuition. What role can I play to elevate this structure? And, you know, move from there. So not everybody needs to go be the Piscean age of activating your purpose. It's about taking that and saying, where do I really feel called? What do I really love to do? Maybe it's painting, and you activate that energy through that painting. Maybe it's freaking coding websites, and you're activating that within that space, and you're lighting up and expanding that. This is all about kind of saying, we don't have to operate in this old way of the Piscean age. It's time to innovate the pre-existing structures of the world with our intuitive abilities and our downloads that we're receiving. So it might feel like what you thought was your purpose, or what has been your purpose, was you retracing your steps, connecting to an old purpose to rekindle that connection to your intuitive self. And now you're saying this is done. Or you could be in a very traditional, you know, structure and a very traditional job and westernized job. And now you're saying, okay, like, I like this. I don't like, it's not bad, but like, there's another part of me that needs to come through and be expressed in what I'm doing now. And now you're bridging into that intuitive self inside. So there's a harmonistic bridging and quality coming into us that's saying, in order to innovate, in order to move forward, we have to bridge these two pieces together. And we need to innovate utilizing something that drives us forward. You could, even if you have strong Aquarian energies, if you have Saturn in Aquarius, like I mentioned, you could be seeing into things and saying, this is so old. Like, why is there nothing new? And wherever you're feeling that, wherever you're seeing that, that's your space to infiltrate. And again, it might be things that you're super passionate about. For example, I am super passionate and connected to music. I feel it in my body, like it's surreal. I've always been that way. That's been the source of my connection since day one. I started channeling through writing songs. I found my connection to source, to God, when I would go to church in the worship part, in the music part where we'd be singing. And that's always where I've met spirit. That's how it comes through me. That's my introductory, that's my core. And I love, 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 love music. And the other day I was like listening to some new song by these artists, and I started listening to it and I was very underwhelmed. I was like, I feel like this just sounds like everything that's already been done before, and I feel like something needs to change here. And so I recognize that. And so that could be a space for me to play with now, where I say, maybe I do go into this space and I actually have the self-worth and this expansion with me now that says, I can do this. I believe in myself enough and I know anything is possible, and why not? Let me do this. Let me see if I can innovate this space. That's just an example, guys. But you could be seeing and viewing yourself coming into that awareness of what's your bliss, what's your truth, what's your highest expression connected to your source, your spirit, your heart, and then engaging with the material world and finding spaces where that passion and that purpose feels stuck, outdated, old, and you could feel called to sort of have this expansion moment of this needs to be upgraded. So follow where you're called in that sense. Throat chakra clearings, needing to speak our truth, needing to be who we are, but also respecting others as well, guys. Let's pull a couple cards. Let's see what comes through. Oh my goodness. The first card that pops up, I tell you, this is all synchronistically aligned. And if you've been feeling kind of reserved, pulled away, reserved and pulled away, kind of like in a cocoon, this energy moving into mid-March, end of March, will be helping you get out of that energy. So again, guys, the third eye. The third eye is going to be under strong initiation, activation, downloads, understanding, coming through. This is an expansion of our consciousness, new understandings, and the connections between all things. This oneness that a lot of people talk about but actually don't live out or haven't exactly got to that point yet, that's coming through. This is bringing in a spiritual level of maturity that helps us understand the interconnectedness of life. This is super cosmic energy, so we want to make sure that we are grounded with this earth star chakra. This is one of the etheric chakras that extends 6 feet below your feet, and the root chakra. This is about maintaining your grounding throughout this time. Make sure that you're finding ways to connect to the earth, getting outside, getting in nature, and learning how to ground your body. Food, again, I talk about in the Ascension protocol, how to utilize food as a means of grounding, but also balancing the equilibrium of your biochemical essence in order to help with the energetic upgrades and energetic expansions, activations, etc. that we are going to be entering into. We have loving compassion. This high heart chakra is represented by this card. This is about having compassion for yourself and others, loving yourself enough to walk away from situations that no longer serve you, but not in this messy, chaotic, gross way where it's kind of like a mutual thing. So a lot of the endings and closings that can be coming through and entering in the beginning of this month of March, they could be a very platonic falling away, where we're like, I no longer want to give energy into this relationship or into this space anymore. And it kind of just naturally flows apart rather than this really messy, harsh, chaotic, karmic toxicity kind of energy. And so this is really about that, opening up and expanding the heart space, connecting with your truth, following your truth, and allowing what doesn't resonate to you in your core light to kind of fall away. Then we have Shine Your Light, this beautiful card here. And this is all about owning your power, owning your voice, owning your truth, expressing who you are. This is also light activations coming through, high heart activations coming through. This is all about allowing yourself to be seen, heard, and recognized in your truth. If there's something that you've been scared about expressing that is a creative or innovative talent of yours that you've never let yourself to fully express, it's like going to be pouring out of you. This is bliss, this is joy, this is the connection to your truth. And what happens when we're connected to our truth is we have this unending essence of love pouring through us. It's kind of like when people do MDMA or any other drug or shrooms or things like that, or even marijuana. And I'm not condoning the use of these. Again, I'm sober, but I have experimented in my past. And it's like when that energy is surging through you and you have these high serotonin levels and all of these things in your body are peaking, you just want to like share that experience with other people. You want to give that love to other people. You want to pour into other people. And this is a natural experience that we can have without drugs and substances outside of us. That is the pure essence of ourself, pure essence of our vitality, pure essence of joy. So we're reconnecting with joy, we're reconnecting with happiness, we're reconnecting with play, we're reconnecting with other people in a new way that's less about this karmic crap and more about, hey, how can we better one another and how can we come together to create something new, to create a new world and to create this new space for ourselves together. And so lots of beautiful, loving energy is coming through and I'm excited. So I hope you guys are excited as well. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so immensely grateful for you. I was reflecting the other day on how far I've come, and there's been moments in this journey where I've wanted to quit, where I've wanted to give up, and the ability to just support you and have this beautiful symbiotic exchange is something that I've realized lately is what I need in this life, that keeps me grounded, that keeps me rooted in this space. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you soon.